Welcome home and welcome back to VCon. VCon is something that is very special to us all. To those of us who have been participating in this VCon, the concept of a VCon began almost 20 years ago, literally from the time the company began. And from the very first VCon to now, there's been one thing that has been our single most powerful message. VCon is here to change lives. Those of us who come to VCon live from VCon to VCon. It's not just something that is life-changing for you. It's not something that is life-changing for those who are merely observers or participants. It is equally life-changing for those of us who come up on stage to speak. Because the magic of VCon simply is this: we are our first students. Hence, whatever I'm saying to you right now is something I would say to myself. So what makes this so special? We have the next 3 days to inject into you 3 very important steps. Step 1 is to renew. Today, I'm going to be addressing just that. The whole issue of renewing, of renewal, and what that actually means. Tomorrow, we will talk about revive. And our final day, we will discuss being reborn. As you heard a little bit earlier from VP Sachin, he felt reborn. He felt reborn in his journey with us. Ultimately, that is exactly what you are aiming to do, each and every one of you, to be reborn. But being reborn needs you first to clear a lot of baggage. And there is a lot of baggage that we are carrying right now. A baggage of a lifetime, a baggage of defeats, of failures, of not being where we want to be. By definition, if you are sitting here listening to me, you are not yet where you want to be. You are not yet in that position in life where you feel that you have achieved something. If that is the case, then the one thing that you need to know is that you cannot run with baggage. And it is the baggage that we need to drop first. And that's what we call wiping the slate clean. Moving forward, you just have to recognize renewal means a renewal of your own commitment to what you want to achieve. There was a time when you were in school, perhaps, where your mind was open and you were ready to believe, and you had within you that particular combination of confidence and faith. And that made you free and strong to be able to try anything in life. But today, life has actually, in a way, damaged us. Life has taken us through our ups and downs. Life has taken us to the point where we are currently carrying so much negativity because everyone tells you you cannot succeed. This is the worst thing that can happen to you, people telling you that you cannot succeed. They told us that when we began. 23 years ago, When we began, they were laughing at us. When we began this company, we basically began with just faith, confidence in our principles, faith in our belief and in our vision, and ultimately nothing else. The only thing that kept us going from day to day was simply a belief and the faith. So those two things were the two things that we relied upon. But people who looked at us didn't have either of those things. So that they looked at us and all they saw were a bunch of mad people. And mad, as I've always said, being mad is good. Being mad means we are not taken by the whole world's malaise, disease. There is a malaise that is struck the whole planet because 99% of the people who live on the planet are sheep. Why? Because we just follow. We wear clothes designed by other people. We listen to music written by somebody. We read books written by somebody. We live by rules that other people draw up for us. Right from the time of attending school till the time we end up in an old folks' home somewhere. It's a continuous journey of following the rules. So much so that we completely forget how to lead. So in this whole planet where 99% of us are sheep, what do? We need to break free. The problem with sheep is if one sheep actually walked off a cliff, every single one of them will follow. They don't stop to think, they just follow. I'm reminded very much of a picture that I saw when I was in a waiting room somewhere. And there was this amazing picture of probably 1,000 sheep. And they were going all together, milling around, heading to a gate. This gate was open, and they were walking through. They had to actually, crowd themselves together and walk through a few at a time because basically the gate could only allow maybe 3 or 4 sheep in a row to cross over to the other side. So they were basically going from one field to another and going through this gate. As they were going through the gate, they had to funnel themselves in, pushing each other, and they were squeezing themselves into the gate to go to the other side, where hopefully the grass was greener. But if you took a closer look at the picture, you began to realize something. You began to realize that there was no fence on either side of the gate. Basically, there were just 2 gates, and the gates were wide open, and there was no fencing on either side. So the sheep could have actually walked right across at any point. But sheep being sheep just followed what the other sheep were doing. So without the need of a fence even, they were all funneled, crowded around each other, pushing their way in across the gate to the other side. And this is human nature in a nutshell. This is the problem that we face. Changing from that behavior is the first thing. And that means wiping the slate clean, wiping the memories of a lifetime of defeats and failure and desperation, all of the negativity. Then the next is to basically be deaf. Let no one steal your dreams. You have to simply have the confidence in whatever you are doing every day and the belief that you will get there. So with confidence and belief, you move forward. So renewing your purpose. Because let's go back to the time when you were children. And people were to ask you at that point, what do you want to do in life? I mean, if you talk to a teenager, they have dreams that are incredible. A list of things that they want to achieve in their life. So if someone had met you when you were 15 or 18 and asked you what you were planning to do with your life before you were 30. If someone had asked me that, I had a long list of things that I wanted to achieve, my bucket list, as it were. And I'm sure many of you had the exact same bucket list. But if today you were to come back and meet someone from that point in your life who had a copy of your bucket list and who could actually present it back to you and say, how many of these have you actually achieved? It would be embarrassing, to say the least. We would be so far short of achieving what we want to achieve. So the question here is, what happened? What happened between then and now? You heard some incredible sharings just now from Kavita and Sachin in particular, but also from so many other V partners. The challenges they have had to face in their lives. But it began with the fact that they were literally, at some point or another, going nowhere. They were hitting a blank wall. At the very least, they were simply nowhere near their position in life that they thought they would be in. So, many of you could relate to that. I, for one, can relate to that. This concept that you have right now is a chance to renew your faith in yourself, renew your path moving forward, wiping the slate clean so that you have, in essence, nothing as excess baggage to carry forward. That's where the path actually begins. Because you are in the greatest industry known to man, which is networking. Why is this so special right now? The whole last year has been a complete wipeout. Not just for you and me, but for the whole world. Almost every nation on this planet has had an experience of a lifetime. Industrially, commercially, economically, the last year has been a wipeout. Businesses have been basically wiped out. They have gone completely bust. By the time we come out of the series of lockdowns that we have been going through, and right about now, we are having another resurgence of the pandemic. Now, at some point this year, we will eventually come out of this. At some point this year, with a combination of vaccinations and also with treatment protocols that are continuously improving, we will come out of this. But what is the light at the end of the tunnel? When we come out of this, there's going to be an economic wasteland. A devastation of the type that has not been seen for a long time. Economically speaking, this is what they call a depression. A recession is something that we have gone through many times. It happens literally every few years, and we have had that since 1990 and before. Literally every 3-4 years. But recessions come and go. Recessions mean that it's a bounce back effect afterward. But a depression, we haven't had one of those in 100 years. The last depression followed the last pandemic. We had a pandemic in 1920, from 1918 to 1920, exactly 100 years ago. And it lasted 2 years and wiped out 20 million lives. We are right now going through a deja vu pandemic. Because we had a similar pandemic also 100 years before the last one. So it has been a kind of a cycle, this pandemic. So if we watch a history, we can learn from it. And history is telling us something. This pandemic, especially the last one, left us with an economic depression that almost stretched a decade. And today, as we come out of this, we are going to be facing literally the same scenario. But whether it will be a decade, I'm not here to predict, but it will definitely last a lot longer than any of our previous recessions. So what's so important about this? What's so important about this? Ours is an industry that thrives under pressure. Ours is an industry that actually blossoms in recession times. Now, during this depression, which is going to take a longer time to recover, at least a few years before what appears to be normal comes back to us, this is the best time to do what we are doing right now. It is simply the best possible time. Unemployment is going to be off the charts. Unemployment in every part of the world is going to be incredibly high. University students who are coming out will find problems getting employed, leave alone anyone else. At this point in time, doing networking is a boon, it's a blessing. For any economy in the world, it gives a chance for those of the unemployed, those who are seeking for another opportunity, a chance to stand on their legs. This is the gift that networking brings, because entrepreneurship is the basis of networking. Ultimately, networking is the format that we use, but the baseline is we are all entrepreneurs. Now, entrepreneurs is what drives nations. If one were to take a look at some of the most successful, economically powerful powerhouses in the world, such as Hong Kong, Singapore, Dubai, and the like. These are little city-states with literally no natural resources, but among the fastest growing economies in the world. They are driven by entrepreneurship. Hong Kong is the reason we began in Hong Kong. It's because of the nature of the Honky or the Hong Kongers' mentality to work and work ethics. I love the fact that we began there at the time when Hong Kong itself was going through a recession. And it proved the point exactly. It was the best possible time for us. It was the fastest growth a company could have ever had. It was phenomenal that we were able to achieve the kind of sales that we achieved within the first year. We surpassed all of our expectations. Coming out of this pandemic is another opportunity to do the same, not just in one spot, but across the world. You have an opportunity to basically participate in rebuilding the planet, as it were. But it begins first with you. It begins with you making that decision. It begins with you taking the first step forward. None of the journeys of these people that you were listening to was ever easy. In fact, if you heard Ferdy earlier, his biggest problem was he became successful too fast. He said it became successful too easily. And because of that, perhaps he made the decision to step out too easily. And that happens to all of us. But if you're willing to put your heart and soul behind it, if you're willing to work, like they pointed out, many of the We partners before, none of them told you it was easy. They kept telling you how hard it was. So if it is so hard, why do it? If it is so hard, why do these people want to do this? That's a question you have to ask yourselves. Because people work hard all the time, Baba. They work hard all over the world. I think one of the hardest working people are the people who build roads. The road workers work harder than everybody. I think they are the hardest workers around. But does that mean they are successful? Are they financially free? No. So working hard has never been the solution by itself. There are a lot of people who are willing to work hard. They just don't know where to do it and how to do it. Because that would mean a second element, which is to work smart. So working hard is nothing unusual. Working smart becomes a lot more important. In networking, that's the balance that we bring. In order for you to be successful, you have to simply make others successful. That's the magic of what we do. And it's singularly powerful. You have seen in this 23-year journey, how many people have walked this path with us? How many people have chosen to basically stay with us for this length of time? That by itself is unusual. Networking companies generally, a great majority of them don't last 5 years. In fact, when we started out, that's exactly what they were saying to us, that we will not last 5 years. They were laughing. They laughed when we crossed, the 5-month margin. They laughed when we crossed the 1-year margin. They laughed again when we crossed 2 years. Every year, they were saying, this company is going to fail now. It's going to fail next. This is 23 years. 23 years cannot happen out of luck. No company on the planet can be successful for 23 years out of pure luck. So if it's not luck, what the heck is it? That it means there's something that we are doing right. Now, like I said, most networking companies fail before they are 5. Some might even make it to 10. Beyond that, you are not simply a networking company. You, in a sense, have made it into a corporate multinational, as we are. And the difference is simply that. It's not a miracle. It's not magic. It's simply the fact that we are doing something right. So what you are joining, when you join with us, is you're joining 23 years of history. You're making your future based upon our past. The lessons that we have learned over 23 years have made us stronger, better, fitter. And that is, in essence, the platform that you will be standing on. So when I say to you, renew, you have to make one very important decision. And obviously, not all of you are going to make this. But to those of you who make this decision, it will be life-changing. It will be life-changing because your lives will change. There is no question about this. Not only will your lives change, the lives of those around you will change. And that is the greatest, I think, the greatest benefit, the greatest return that I've ever had out of this business. Being able to help those that I love. To be able to reach out and say yes when someone asks me for help. Because this may be something you might want to do, but being able to do it, that's something totally different. So, my own journey in this has been basically exactly like yours. Starting from nothing. Starting from scratch. And working our way up, as it were. Can you guys hear me? Are you with me? Yeah. So, it'll be interesting. Who first? Casablanca, Tanzania? Casablanca! Tanzania! Oh, they are very fast. Saudi Arabia! Sri Lanka! It'll take a little while for them. India! And now Tanzania is going. Burkina Faso! Russia! They also need this energy. Côte d'Ivoire! Viva Italia! Now Tanzania. Russia's on. Abidjan now. Abidjan, you saw? Arey, India! They say that when India awakes, the world will tremble. India! Still coming. No. Ten seconds behind. This is how it feels. This is how it feels when we start to become successful. Thank you for being with me tonight. Spasiba, Russia. Spasiba. Shukran, Morocco. Bomat Studi, Sri Lanka. So I have one wish I'd like to share with you today. Renewal begins with us basically starting from scratch, going back to zero. So you say to yourself, I am zero. See, when you say to yourself, I am zero, that's a very important starting point because you have nowhere to drop. The minute you are at I am zero, you cannot go down anymore. Are you with me? So I am zero is the first place to start. Have no expectations. Be totally focused on where you need to go. Be totally focused on achieving this. And every day, you have to renew your promise to yourself. Renewal is a daily thing. Renewal does not happen one time only. It's not only for today. Every day begins with renewal. So every day you begin by saying, I renew my faith. I renew my pledge to myself. And every day you focus on moving forward. Because anything is possible once you set your mind to it. You have the single most powerful gift, which is that of the human mind, the brain. You have hardly used it all this time. Your entire life has gone through without actually scraping the surface of what you can do with the brain. They say that Einstein used about 5%, which makes us all ridiculous because we can't even be scratching one. But you see, there's a secret about this 1%. If you activate that 1% of your mind and then work on improving 1% every single day, then within a space of a year, because that 1% compounds every day, and in a space of a year, you will hit 37%. 37 times, 3,700%. You will grow 37 times simply by improving 1% a day. So your renewal begins with that. Now, improving 1% a day cannot be that difficult. It requires you to be focused. It requires you to be able to benchmark. That means to be able to categorize how much you are achieving every day and then push it forward by 1%. That's it. 1%. You want the secret to success? It's 1 bloody percent. 1% a day. It's not earth-shaking. But if you improve every day by 1%, then in a year, you will be 37 times better. That is 3,700%. So that means the last 10, 20 years of your life, you have not even been able to achieve 1%. So what the heck are you doing with your lives? You have a gift. You are born and you are alive today. And in this time of pandemic, it's an even more precious gift. There are so many who have lost their lives. There are so many neighbors, friends, people in your community who are not alive anymore. If you cannot appreciate this gift that you have, particularly now, then you need to ask yourself what you are doing with yourselves. If you could actually target to improve 1% a day by end of this year, you will be 30 times better than you are right now. And 30 times better than you are right now means you will be in a class by yourselves. It's a mathematical fact. Take 1%, compound it every day. So today is 1%. Tomorrow is 1% of 1.1. And then you keep on adding. As you compound it, you will hit 37 times. So the point is, we just need to be focused on improving just a little bit. We need to be better than we were yesterday. But when we stand still, when we are stagnant, we are moving backwards. And your life was not born for you to move backwards. Your life was born to move forward. Your life, your entire structure of your body is structured to move forward. Try running backwards, how far you can go. How fast can you go? Running backwards means you just simply fall. So, if you're ever going to succeed, it begins by being able to improve just that, marginally that 1%. You have to awaken. So to renew yourself, you have to be awake today. You have to rise up from the sleep, the slumber that you have been having most of your lives. You begin by the gratitude. The gift of life itself is so precious that you do not want to waste this. And change happens right now. Change happens this very minute. Change happens today. So renew your faith, renew your confidence, and charge forward. What have you got to lose? The one thing that is confirmed is we are all on our way to the same destination above. The one thing confirmed for all of us, everyone sitting here right now, is that we will all end up at one point or another leaving this planet. Death is the only thing confirmed. But when it will come, we do not know. And it's stupid to think you live forever. So what does that mean? It means that you basically treasure every moment of your life. If you cannot improve by 1%, then you need to ask yourselves, are you really living? Is this life that you're living? 1% is a very, very marginal amount. You have to take every aspect of your life and improve something by 1%. And if you keep on doing that, you will get into the habit of improving. And you begin by renewing that every day. Renew. Renew so that there will be a new you. Renew. And that will lead you to a whole new expectation of life. You're going to fail every day. That's the next thing. Accept it. So what? So what? Just get up again. Every time you fail, you just get up again. And that is renewal. The mantra for renewal is get up again. Because every day you have to renew, right? So if you fail, you get up again. You fail, you get up again. Are you with me? Are you with me? Are you with me? Are Baba, are you with me? If your life is so important, why are you sitting down? Are you with me? If your life is so important, why are you sitting down? Are you with me? Are you with me? Every day we get up again. Every day we get up again. Every day we get up again. Get up again. Get up again. Come on, Baba, you cannot be so tired so soon. Get up again. Okay. And tomorrow we begin to revive. Thank you. Good night. I love you.